The Kashmir Great Lakes Trek is a popular multi-day trekking route in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. It is known for its stunning alpine scenery, crystal-clear lakes, and snow-capped peaks. The trek typically takes 7 to 8 days to complete and covers a distance of approximately 70 kilometers. The trek starts from the scenic mountain town of Sonamarg and passes through a series of high-altitude lakes such as Vishanza Lake, Gadza Lake, and Gangbal Lake, each with its own unique beauty. The trail also takes trekkers through lush meadows, dense forests, and rocky terrain, providing a diverse and challenging experience. Day 1 Arrival Reception at Srinagar Airport, Bus Station. On arrival at Srinagar Airport or bus station, our representative-cum-driver will receive you and drive to Sonamarg for an overnight stay in a tented camp. We have tea or kahwa before dinner at the evening. The drive through Ganderbal villages takes maximum 3 hours to cover a distance of around 100 kilometers. Sonamarg is the last town with a market before the start of the trek. Day 2 Sonamarg Niknai, 7 hours trek. After breakfast at the campsite, we pack our load and backpacks on horses and start our trek. Our trek is a slightly steep ascends the meadows and enters a pine, birch forest at Shokdari. There's a army checkpost where we have to produce our ID cards or passports. The process takes not more than 10 minutes to tally the IDs with the trek permits which we had acquired well in advance. The officials are very friendly and the short break is worth to have a distant sight of the Thajwa Glacier and the vibrant Sonamarg town. We trek pine forest for 3 hours and have our lunch at Shokdari top. After the lunch our trek enters birch forest, a slight descent trek, very comforting in walking as we enter the vast and long Niknai meadow. It takes another hour or two to reach our camping ground to have our tea or kahwa and finally the dinner and an overnight stay. Day 3 Niknai Vishnasar Krishanza Lake, 7 hours trek. After the breakfast, we leave Niknai meadow crossing a small icy water stream. We start ascending one of the 3 passes of the trek, the Niknai Pass, 4,080 meters. The pass will test our legs and most importantly our stamina. The trek, which takes an hour of some steep hiking, looks never-ending. We ascend the pass through grazing pastures of sheep and goats. After crossing the pass we enter into the Vishanza Valley, which is also called as the Valley of Medicinal Plants, due to its sheer varieties of alpine flowery plants. We take our lunch and trek all the way down to Vishanza Lake. We take our tea or kahwa and the dinner at the campsite. Vishanza Lake is just a 10 minutes walk away from our campsite. Day 4 Vishanza Gadza, 8 hours trek. After the breakfast, we start our day's trek looking over and over to Vishanza Lake while we ascend to Krishanza Lake. The Krishanza Lake is a sibling of the former. It lies just over a ridge. We take its eastern shore to ascend the second and the highest pass of the trek, the Gadza Pass, 4,180 meters. The pass trek is steeper than that of the Niknai. It takes 2 hours to ascend the pass. On the top of the pass, we have the aerial view of the whole Vishanza Valley. Among it are situated the twin lakes of Vishanza and Krishanza, the source of Neelam River. We trek down the Gadza Valley and take our lunch at the Gadza Lake. The valley is also full of the flowery alpine plants and the green carpeted mountains look fabulous with their snow-clad tops. Our alpine pasture trek is full of Kashmir sheep. While walking down the trek it looks never-ending as finally we arrive our camping ground at Kostorkot. Before few years there used to have another army checkpost, but luckily they are gone. Now no more checking at Gadza. We take our tea or kahwa and have our dinner at the evening. Day 5 Gadza Satsar Lakes Megan Doab, 5 hours trek. After the breakfast we ascend Kostorkot leaving Gadza Valley. It takes 2 hours of a trek to enter the meadow of Rasbal. At the Rasbal, a flowing river disappears inside the boulders and flows underground. The trek follows a fertile meadow. We continue our trek through 7 small lakes of Satsar and camp at Megandoab at the foothills of the third pass of Zajibal for an overnight stay. Today we take our lunch at the campsite as this is the shortest day of the trek. Day 6, Satsar Gangabal Lake, 6 hours trek. After the breakfast at the campsite, we start our trek by criss-crossing boulders. We ascend the last pass of our trek, Zajibal Pass, 4,080 meters. It takes maximum 3 hours of alpine trekking. As we reach a top, all our tiredness falls apart by looking at the views and the mountain scenery of the Mount Haramukh, 5,300 meters, just standing in the front, and at its footsteps lie the twin beautiful alpine lakes of Gangabal and Nunkal. There is also a clear view of the distant Kolesar Lake. We descend the pass and reach our campsite at Gangabal Lake for an overnight stay. We take our lunch at the lake and tea and dinner at the campsite. Day 7, Gangabal Naranag, 6 hours trek, Srinagar, 2 hours drive. We leave Gangabal and Nunkal lakes and trek down the meadows of Trankol. We may need to produce our permits and show our ID cards at the army checkpost at the Trankol. We continue our trek down and enter the tree line. We trek down to Naranag village through the pine forests of Bodhpatri. Here ends our 6 days of walking. We take our lunch at a restaurant and take our car drive back to Srinagar houseboat or hotel for an overnight stay. Dinner and breakfast at the houseboat or the hotel. Day 8, Departure Day. Our representative will drop you at the airport or bus station for the departure.